think with the combination of how the quarterback situation went down, how their defense played, and then also the relationship that I think with, management that probably wasn't the greatest thing, or they didn't see eye to eye. That's probably more than anything. They probably didn't see eye to eye, because I do think, each side respect each other. But they said they had to make a move, and you want to get someone in here and a coach and a staff that can help with offensive line play. You got to get the players, but offensive line play and quarterback. Andrew Luck did not have, when he did play, he didn't have the best games in the world. He threw interceptions, but other than that, he was getting killed out there with the offensive line. So they got to change it up, start back over, give some new blood, give some new life to give this fan base, which is a great fan base, some hope, because I think they just lost all hope in Chuck Pagano. So he will get on somewhere. He's already rumored to possibly be the defensive coordinator for the Ravens. So he'll probably fall on his feet. And I think he still had his contract wasn't. Oh no, I think his contract was up, so they didn't renew it. But he'll be all right. But it just didn't work. Unfortunately, it didn't. Now, surprisingly, the Raiders, I thought Jack Del Rio was going to get another shot at trying to prove, that this year for the Raiders was just a fluke. But no. And to me, the biggest reason, I think the real reason why Jack Del Rio lost his job, yes, the team underperformed. Yes, the defense underperformed. But I really think where this stems from is that the Oakland Raiders are getting ready to move to Las Vegas. And you want to try and make the biggest splash you can. And what more can you do? One, with the fan base now in Oakland, for them to show up to the games one more year before you bounce out. Maybe 2 more years, but 1 more year before you bounce out. They're getting John Gruden, a.k.a. Chucky. So I really think this was, Gruden had been out there every year for the probably past 2 or 3 years, and he was looking for the right situation. And he got a young Derek Carr. He got Khalil Mack. He got both of those guys under contract. Now, of course, he's going to have to go find him another running back, and I'm saying it like he already has the position, but he pretty much already is his if he wants it. So I'm pretty sure they're just working out the formalities. But I'm just saying this is why I feel that Jack Del Rio got the axe, is that they said, you know what? If we get Gruden, we can change things around here. We can make the fan base happy right now, but also going to Las Vegas with a big name coach. So these fans in Las Vegas will line up to get their tickets, get their season tickets, get their paraphernalia and all this stuff with the hopes of still getting some of your Oakland people that will be willing to make that trip at times to go to Las Vegas to still see the team play. So, I mean, it's scary. It is that they thought this out, and I'm pretty sure they've been thinking about this probably at the beginning of the year when the team first started struggling, So that's why I think Jack Del Rio lost his job there, is that they had a new shiny, toy or a new shiny trophy that they could go around town and say, look who we got. Super Bowl coach, Super Bowl winning coach, a guy that knows X and O's, a guy that's won before. Now, it's really funny because they traded him to Tampa Bay, and he went to Tampa, won, and beat them in the Super Bowl. So maybe they're admitting, hey, we made a mistake. We should have never traded him now. But we'll never know. They'll never say anything about that. Giants got an opening. So we know McAdoo, he was gone, during the season. So now I think who's out there? Josh Daniels, along with some other coaches. I think Matt Patricia has been rumored to maybe come and see that team or interview for that team. New GM. So we'll see what David Gettleman does, with this Giants team. The biggest thing is going to be who's going to be your quarterback. And I think, with Ben McAdoo, it was just, I don't know if he just didn't want to change from what he was doing, or there were stories that his story got old, but then you got players like Landon Collins was saying, no, they love the coach. But at some point, you can always have 1 or 2, 3 guys, that got you back. But if majority of those guys is just like, what, we're tired of this. We're tired of this same story. We're tired of, what he's doing. Then that will definitely get a change made. And you're not winning. And benching Eli for Geno Smith. That right there, it didn't make any sense. It just didn't make any sense. Geno was going to be your backup regardless. You wasn't going to look at Geno being your starter. If Geno was going to start, Geno needs to go start for another team. So I'm not knocking Geno Smith. And then you got Davis Webb that did not get to play pretty much at all. And when you make decisions like that, and then you expect your fan base, New York fans of all people, to understand, no, you got to go. So that's why he got fired. You got to get another coach in here because you got Odell Beckham now. They could franchise tag him and everything, but I don't know if they want to franchise tag him 2 years in a row, but they could franchise tag him in the future to see, what they want to do with him. But at some point, he's going to decide whether he want to be around or not. Eli's not going to be there for that much longer. You do have, your tight end like Evan Ingram and all this stuff, so you got a little bit of young talent, but you still don't have a solid running game, and your offensive line is still figuring it out. So you're going to have some type of coach that comes in, not Tom Coughlin-ish, but as far as having structure, because I think that's what cost McAdoo. I think that structure and that locker room, he lost. So you're going to have some guy that's going to come in and have structure and have that locker room. Hurts me to say this, but my Detroit Lions, they fired Jim Caldwell. And it hurt. He had success. Shouts out to my man, Information Man Show. But he had success. He only had one losing season. He was there for 4 years. They went to the playoffs twice. It's just like Detroit, in a 4-year time span for any coach not named Wayne Fonts. You haven't had this type of success, so why would you get rid of him? So I am at a complete loss, everyone. Shout out to my man Brian. Going back to Cali Hill, he asking me, who do I want in Detroit? See, that's why I don't know, because I'm still kind of stuck on this Jim Caldwell. I know Bob Quinn came in. He's a Patriot guy. He probably going to go and get another Patriot guy. Matt Patricia or Vrabel has been, reported to be one of the front runners for this position. They've interviewed Jim Bob Cooter. He's the current OC, But I don't know. I wish I knew of who I wanted to be in there, because Jim Caldwell, man, I mean, coming from Jim Schwartz, you got to understand, you have to be a Lions fan or follow the team to understand. Jim Schwartz, man, he let them boys just do whatever they want, just run around, cause penalties and everything, and cost games, And Caldwell came in, brought structure to this team, and then also let's remember this: went to the playoffs without their best player. Calvin Johnson retired, and they went to the playoffs. Although they backed into it, they still went to the playoffs, and they still had a winning season. Nobody had the Lions with a winning season after Megatron retired. And they also had a winning season this year. Did not end the way they thought it was. You had some controversial games, and you had some games that you should have won. So they could have easily been, 11-5. But could have been, should have been, would have been, don't count. So that's why I'm at a loss. Or whoever it is, I'll say this, Brian. Whoever it is that they get, the coach, whoever's making decisions, Bob Quinn, whoever's drafting, collectively, they better get the running back situation right. I'm telling you, do whatever it is that you can to either get Saquon Barkley. I know that is going to be very hard to get because they are picking 20th in the draft, but try to get Saquon Barkley. If you cannot get Saquon Barkley, you get Nick Chubb. Maybe even Sony Michel, but you get somebody. You are running back. Because you got a guy that is the highest paid player and quarterback in the league, and he is out here trying to throw as a run option. So, Matt Patricia, I don't know. If they get Matt Patricia, I'm not going to be upset. He seems like he has structure, He seems like he knows what he's doing. He seems like, he might be one of these, up and coming coaches, kind of like a Sean McVay or whatever. Not offensively like Sean McVay, but I'm just saying, be able to take over a team and take them to the next level. But I tell you this, I tell you who I don't want. Brian. I don't want no retread, somebody that been on two teams and both teams suck and bringing in and thinking that you're going to get the third time's going to be magical. I don't want a coach like that. I don't want someone coming in here, with that whole old school mentality or whatever. You got to be able to relate to these players now. So whoever it is, they better be able to relate to the players. They better be able to get the running game together, and they better win. I think as Lions fans, what they need to do, or what we need to do, we need to put pressure on the next coach to win. Although the Giants fans, here's one thing with Giants fans and just New York fans in general, but Knicks ain't won nothing in forever. But you know what they do? Whoever comes in there, man, they put a high expectation on them. And I will say this, as Lions fans, we don't put high expectations on our coaches or our players. We sit there and we be like, man, I hope we get to the playoffs. No, we need to go in there and say, look, y'all better get to the playoffs or we will get rid of you. Busa, in the chat room, I'm going to go ahead and get you out of here with one more comment like that. He said, Jeff Fisher wants back in. Busa, don't take me there. It's 2018, Busa. We are not coming into 2018 like that. You almost took me there. You almost got me, but I'm not going to let you get me. But yeah, no Jeff Fisher type coaches, man. We don't need that. Get some fresh new blood, and then let's go. So, Chicago, John Fox, he got fired. This was probably the easiest fire of all. Man, Maybe he's one of those retread coaches too, because he was in Carolina, then he was in Denver, now he's in Chicago. But